This is the Amor al Migrante podcast, Love for the Migrant, a project of Estrella del Paso, the largest provider of free immigration legal services in West Texas and southern New Mexico. This podcast is coming to you from El Paso, Texas, hosted by Sandra Ramirez and Cristian Trujillo. Please subscribe to the Amor al Migrante podcast to be alerted about new episodes and visit www.estrelladelpaso.org to support our work on the southern border. Welcome, everyone, to a special Thanksgiving episode of Amor al Migrante. Today's episode is all about gratitude. 'Tis the season for giving thanks. We really wanted to do today's episode because right now, some of us, some of you may be feeling really, really stressed out because there's a lot going on, whether it's at work or in your home life, in the world. There are a lot of things happening that may make it really difficult for us to take the time to stop and practice gratitude. So that's what we're here to do today.
Yes, and today we invited two of our guests. One of them is Monica Allen. She is our social worker in an Unaccompanied Minors Unit, and Brenda Thomas, who is an attorney for the same unit, correct? They do both take care of our mental health at work by hosting different workshops and different, presentations for the staff on a weekly basis, correct?
Yes, we try to present different topics that help everybody in the organization to just be, more relaxed, more resilient, and to learn different ways to cope with stress and the daily life situations.
Thank you. So they're here to share their knowledge, share tips, and share their insights when it comes to keeping a positive mentality, not only at work, but outside of work, and being grateful. Because I think that's one of the things that, should be always there, being grateful for everything we have and everything we don't have to. So thank you, ladies, for joining us today at this episode.
Thank you.
And I guess we can get started.
Of course, let's start with the first question. Monica, can you just talk a little bit about what it means to practice gratitude and some of the benefits? Because I've read a lot about it. So maybe as an expert, chime in here on gratitude.
Hey, sorry to interrupt. Enjoying this podcast? Just a quick reminder, in 2023, Estrella del Paso helped over 7,000 clients with nearly all of the cases being free. This early giving season, every bit of support helps us to continue this essential work. Don't forget to show your support by donating at estrelladelpaso.org. And that's all. Back to the podcast.
Thank you. Well, gratitude, it's very important, and a lot of people sometimes take it for granted, and they don't realize all the things that we can be grateful for. So sometimes it's like, I say thank you every time that somebody does something nice for me. But being thankful and grateful it's more than that. It goes deeper than just saying thank you for somebody that opened the door to you or that did something nice. Gratitude is a positive feeling, that it's about appreciating and recognizing that somebody did something nice for you or for the things that you have. And it's about recognizing that favor or that thing that you have that sometimes we take for granted. And it can be something simple as, waking up in the morning and seeing the sun, hearing the birds singing in your window, or, being able to wake up, get in your car, drive to work, or driving your kids to school. You're grateful because you have the opportunity to do those things. Also, gratitude it's appreciating those things and saying thank you to either a person that has created or making that possible, or maybe nature or an entity, God.
Right.
So
Yes.
that's what gratitude is about.
Nice. And I don't know if you all remember when was the last time you guys said thank you or were grateful because you were able to wake up another day, or were you able to have a job another day, or even family health. So I think, once again, it's something that we should keep in mind, because you never know what's going to happen the next hour. You never know what's going to happen the next 30 minutes. You never know what's going to happen next year, right? So I think being grateful for what we have right now, it's really important. And like Monica mentioned, even the birds singing in the morning, because how it feels maybe one day that, you know, like something happens and you cannot hear the birds anymore, or like you cannot see the birds anymore. It's like, man, you know, like once you start realizing those things that you never know what could happen in the future, I think that's important for us to always, once again, remember that, be grateful for what we have.
Yes, and it starts with you waking up and being aware of those things. You know, it's like, okay, I'm awake. A lot of people's like, oh my goodness, the alarms went off. Another day. And of course, a lot of us, you know, go through those feelings, but immediately we need to switch and say, oh my gosh, you know, it's another day, another opportunity. I'm grateful because I had a place to rest. I had a pillow to put my head on.
Nice.
I had a blanket. I had somebody to share my house with, or spend the night with, maybe your partner. And enjoy those moments, even, you know, being able to take a hot shower or cold shower, whichever you prefer.
It feels so good.
I think you're right. I think you have to be really intentional about it, right? It's something that has to be top of mind. And I know that it's really helpful. It's been really helpful for me in situations where either I'm super stressed out or I'm super emotional, or I'm like, just take a beat to stop and recognize all of these things, because sometimes that's really hard.
Right. I think what you carry with life that you know, like we like the negative things, like I guess tend to stay or stick longer with us. Like Sandra mentioned, like sometimes you feel depressed, or like you feel sad, or you're stressed and worried, and then you carry the feeling the whole day. And it's okay for you to take a step back and say, hold on, this is not right. You know, I need to be positive. I need to be grateful. If it goes the way that I want it to go, perfect. If it doesn't, it's okay. We're gonna have another opportunity later.
Perspective, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, just kind of puts everything in there.
But I think it takes that, you know, that awareness of stopping and recognizing, okay, I have a lot of things to be grateful for.
Absolutely.
Even that, you know, drink of hot coffee in the morning, the smell of the coffee, just being able to enjoy that moment and just be present at that moment and be like, okay, I'm grateful that I'm able to do this, and then keep on your day. But it's important to start the day being grateful for those little things, and then you'll be more appreciative of the other things that are coming.
Absolutely. I don't know what job, but like I put my coffee maker to start brewing my coffee in the morning.
Timer?
Yeah, and then I go downstairs and you smell the coffee.
Oh yes, like, that's an amazing feeling.
Okay.
It's like everything's gonna be okay.
But on the other side, when I forget to put it on, I go downstairs like yes. So one question for you, Brenda. What are the things that you in your personal life do to stay positive or to show gratitude? Like, what is it that you do on a daily basis? Like, I don't know, waking up and saying a prayer, or waking up and saying thanks. What is it that you do on a daily basis?
Yes, thank you for asking me. So one of the things that I try to exercise every day when I wake up is just asking the Lord to bless my day, but also thanking Him, like you said, for waking me up to another day.
Absolutely.
And for the breath that He gives into my lungs. So I think that's very important. Not only being grateful to God and to my friends and family and neighbors, but also to myself. I think a lot of the times we forget to be thankful to ourselves, saying, thank you, Brenda, you did a good job in writing that assignment that you had, that work project that you had to go to court. Whatever it is, being thankful to God, to your family, but also to yourself. So practicing every day with intentionality, like Sandra said, is very important, and taking that time to do that.
And I think that's something you said something really important, that it's thanking ourselves too, being aware that, recognizing the efforts and recognizing when we do something right, because I think we are our worst judge when it comes to things, right? Like when something goes wrong, you're like hitting you over and over and over with the negative things, and recognizing when we do something right, it's really, really important, I believe.
I always say no one's tougher on me than me, right? Like you can't be meaner to me than I am to me. And I saw something the other day that said being a kind person also involves being kind to yourself. And I was like,
All right, let me write that
At me
down.
next time because it's true. So that's a really good practice.
Yes, and it's called self-gratitude. It's actually a thing, and people
you go.
can actually practice. And you should practice, every morning or every night or every time you have a minute to stop and reflect on that. And you need to think about all the things you do and understand that everything you do matters. Even at home, if you're washing dishes or cleaning the bathroom, those little things matter for your family, for yourself, and also, at work, all the things that you do matter. Sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, what is this for? But you have to switch that mindset, and instead of having those negative thoughts, you have to switch them for positive thoughts and say, okay, everything I do matters and it has an impact. And also compliment yourself. It was always important in the morning when you see yourselves like, hello, beautiful. Here we are again. We can do this. We got this. And just say, you're great. Whatever you feel like is what you need at that moment. But recognizing your strengths is important, and you can always read some positive affirmations that will help you go through the day. And we may talk about it later, but there's a lot of applications. I use one that reminds me every hour of, those good thoughts I use sometimes are like so easy to forget through the day. And sometimes I have my phone, I'm like, it's a wonderful day. I'm like, yes, it is a wonderful day, and so sometimes you forget those little happy moments and happy thoughts.
You get caught up at work too, and many times you're like stressed and typing and working. And it could be 2-3 hours that you were just non-stopping, stressing, working, and it's okay for you to take that break and be like, that's true. It's a beautiful day.
Exactly.
I'm working. Yes.
Exactly.
Let me go back to it.
Yes, it reminds you, about things that you just don't think about in that moment. Or sometimes we don't think about it in weeks because we are so into our problems.
Absolutely.
Have you guys noticed a difference, an improvement at all after implementing these practices of gratitude? Have you noticed a difference in your day-to-day, either in your mood or your output or your energy or anything like that?
Yes, definitely. I would say that you're more content, not only with yourself, but with life and with others by being gracious and having that gratitude towards others and toward yourself. I really like this book. It's called The 5 Love Languages. I don't know if you all have read it, but it's by a counselor, Gary Chapman. And he talks about how there's 5 languages to love and how one expresses it to others may not be necessarily the way that person receives it. Right. So I think this also applies in giving thanks as well. So as far as giving thanks and love, you can serve somebody. So it would be acts of service or gifts to somebody. That's how you can express gratitude, or you can give your time to them or your affection or your words of affirmation to that person, including yourself as well. But for example, I have a really strong relationship with my mother. And so she loves karaoke. So every Friday she wants to go to Taco Cabana and she wants to do karaoke.
Sounds like a great time.
She invests time in she invests time in me. She serves. She helps me cut my weeds. So what I do in return, I help her by spending time with her and taking her.
Love language. Okay.
So little things that we can do, or my dad taking care of my dog while I was in recovery, and what can I do for him to give him thanks?
Yeah.
Well, I can buy him a nice sweater to give him thanks. So a gift component, right? So there's always ways to be gracious and express gratitude in different kind of ways, just like we express love.
Yeah.
Because gratitude is a form of love.
Absolutely.
My sister had someone who kept loved giving her gifts because that was their love language, right? And would gift her things, and she's like, I don't want stuff. Like for her, it's acts of service. She's like, can you help me with something? Can you do this for me? Take a load off of my plate. So I think it's important to have those conversations for how people want that, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
And I think it's okay to stay open to show love different ways, like you said, one with service, or it be with giving things or spending time or even a smile, because it can make a difference, right? But I think being self-aware that everyone is different and everyone receives, I guess, affection in a different way. It's okay.
And especially, when it's unexpected, it's also very nice to you do things for others that you do it because you just have that in you, like open the door for somebody, or or I don't know, doing a favor for somebody or just doing a service. But when somebody comes to you and appreciates what you do, even though you do it just out of just because that's your personality,
nature,
right?
That somebody comes to you and says thank you for that, what you did, it was special to me. That creates a very deep impact for the person that was receiving that gratitude, or for the person that was giving the thank you for what you did to me.
Yeah, Monica, I know you like to go hiking a lot, right? That's one of your
Yes.
things, right? So do you think that, I guess, applies to stay positive and being grateful too? Like when you go hiking, change your whole mood, or like what's the process when you go hiking? Like,
definitely helps. Like I mentioned in the beginning, being thankful can apply to different things. Being thankful for somebody that you have in your life, person, friend, neighbor, but also nature, and or to God, to everything at the same time, because everything is created by God. But nature to me has a very specific or special connection to ourselves, because you realize, all the beautiful things that sometimes we take for granted. Like here in El Paso, our Franklin Mountain is beautiful.
amazing.
It doesn't have all the trees that other mountains have, but it has a beautiful desert that it
Absolutely.
has a very particular beauty, and it just is. You can just get lost in that immensity and just be thankful to God for another day, for the opportunity to be able to connect to nature. And nature itself just relaxes you. It has that healing power.
Yeah.
That
Absolutely.
when you go there, and especially if you just walk, that is very nice. It's a special connection too. But when you hike, just maybe a little bit of a steep path, and you get there and then you see this beautiful view of the city, it's just like I can do anything. It's just that sense of everything's gonna be okay. And I think nature is just, we're part of something beautiful in this world, and it connects you with the plants, with earth, with the animals that you see, with other people. And also if you wake up in the morning very early and you start your day with that habit, it's just, you go back home and you just feel refreshed and full of energy,
Energized,
and ready to take whatever the life may throw you.
Right.
It is also important to mention that gratitude has a very deep impact in our bodies, in our minds, in our physically, mentally, emotionally. it's there's a lot of research that let us know that when you practice gratitude, changes, your brain structure changes, and hormones like dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin also, your brain starts producing these hormones of like happy hormones that are called, and you feel better. Eventually you start sleeping better. Your stress levels, your cortisol goes down. Emotionally, your stress goes down. You're also more empathetic to others. Perfect. You enjoy more the work you do, and you're just happier.
Yeah.
And you may not see it the first day, but eventually you're gonna start feeling, this is great, and everybody should practice. Everybody should take the moment at least once a day to be grateful for what we have.
Yeah.
I remember doing some research on emotional regulation, and one of the things was about, this was for me personally, because I would go to like anger. I would get angry really quickly, right? And then it's like, so then I read anger is really easy to go to because it's a familiar emotion, right? So you go there, and then one of them was like, one of the tips was like, stop and practice gratitude, because you can't be mad and grateful at the same time. Like your brain literally has to switch. So that's how you force it to switch. And I was like, wow. But it's true. I feel like it really works.
Like I was saying, switching that, the negative thoughts with positive thoughts that will, like, oh my gosh, I have to go to work. No, switch it. Like, thank God that I have a job.
Absolutely.
You know, and
In
we're
this
just,
economy?
exactly. And, you know, sometimes it may be hard, but you there is a chance.
Yeah.
You have to stop again and think about the positive of that negative thought. You know, it's like learn something about that feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's actually in scripture it says give thanks in all circumstances. That is the will of God.
Powerful.
So just knowing that in all circumstances, what is the will of God in my life? To give thanks. That's something that the Lord really commands, and that's so precious to his heart for us to be grateful.
Absolutely. And Monica touched a good point too, about staying healthy, you know, when it comes to hiking and when it comes to stress level. My grandfather says all the time that estrés es la cuna de todos los males, that everything bad comes through the stress. So sickness, you know, negative mentalities. So always try to combat that stress by staying positive, by being grateful, and like Brenda said, you know, like give thanks to everything too.
Right.
So I think those are two key points that you guys mentioned.
Yes, because you touch a very good point, especially, you know, the work that we do here in our organization. We can easily experiment burnout, which is like, you know, a feeling of stress, but maximize where you just feel like what you do has no purpose. So being grateful makes you realize, okay, what I do, it actually, you know, creates a positive impact with society, with the people that need our help.
Absolutely.
So it's important to stay focused and being grateful, as you know, it impacts our entire life.
Absolutely.
At home, at work, in our relationship with others. During that time that you're driving, you're more patient with traffic, and just overall, it's a great thing that we have to value and.
Yes, especially when driving.
Especially
To others. Yes.
You can't do
Road
others.
rage is not positive. And going back to what you mentioned, Monica, too, I know we have Wellness Wednesdays here, right? How important do you think those meetings are for the team? And what is your input when it comes to maybe other companies or other places doing the same thing? Do you think it has a positive impact, or have you seen a difference after those meetings?
Well, I think it's important for other organizations and other types of work for them, if they haven't. I think it's something that is growing, and people are realizing that it's important to add to your daily, you know, work routine at least once a month. You know, if it's possible. There's a lot of things going on at work, and sometimes it's not possible to do it as often as we would like to. But I think it's important to add this type of presentations or teachings to the people, because somebody is going to benefit from it. You know, learning like this, you know, gratitude, how important it is, and how important it is for your personal life and the impact that it has at work. And like we were mentioning with the benefits of being grateful, you know, it just lowers your stress, makes you realize how important it is to serve others, and coming to work with that positive and grateful attitude. It just makes you more empathetic, you know, and you're willing to work closer with your colleagues, and of course have a different mentality or a different approach to the clients that you're serving.
Yes. And I think something important is that for those that are maybe at a workplace where it's not the healthiest environment, be the change, right? You take that initiative, propose it. Hey, can we take, it doesn't have to be an hour, it doesn't have to be a day, it could be 5-10 minutes, once a week, once a month, just to say, hey, can we gather all the staff and just be thankful for this day, you know, throw some positive comments to one another, be grateful for something someone else did. So you be the change. If you don't have that at work, you take that initiative. I think that's important too.
And I think that works really well for the two of you. You both have very busy jobs. You work with our Unaccompanied Children's program, and that's one of the biggest programs in this organization. So right now you've taken on a lot as our social work team because we have some people that are out. But Brenda, you've also stepped in to help. Like, why has it been so important for you to kind of help implement some of these Wellness Wednesdays or the activities? Or, every time we have meetings, you have really good ideas of like, hey, we should try this or we should do that.
Yes.
Like, why is that so important for you?
I think just learning from the Wellness Wednesdays and to see how it benefited me, and just knowing that Monica is there to listen to, oh, Monica, I've had a long day. Well, Brenda, you need to be more positive. Look at all the good things you're doing for the children.
Yeah.
And building connections. I think that it benefits building strong relationships within one another in the office and with our bosses, with our coworkers. I think that's very important. I think it also promotes having these Wellness Wednesdays. It prevents burnout, just seeing things from a different perspective, being mental health, or practicing gratitude, or any topic that we've looked at thus far, relaxation, for example. And when you prevent burnout, you're going to promote retention in your employees, which is really good not to have a revolving door within any organization. So I would definitely recommend this for any corporation or any organization, because it really builds strong relationships and it's healthy for everyone.
Absolutely.
And one thing that I want to say right now is thank you, Brenda. Because I've been taking over, the cases of my other colleagues that are been out. And she's been a great support.
So what are tips you guys have for us when it comes to stay positive, when it comes to being grateful, even though, you see a toxic environment or a toxic future, or something that might not be as positive as you would like to. So what tips you guys have for us when it comes to staying the positive, even though, it might seem different in the future?
Well, I think right now with the topic of gratitude, we have to start from there, being grateful for what we have, for the opportunity we have to help others, and just to stay focused in what can I do to help in this situation,
Absolutely.
And I think we need to focus on what we have in common instead of what set us apart from each other. It's like, okay, I know you may have a different point of view than I do, but I'm not going to focus on that. I'm going to focus on what we have in common.
Man.
And sometimes, that can apply for anything, not only for the political aspect, but everything else in life. Not everybody agrees with pizza every Monday. I don't know. So it's like, okay, we have to see, deeper than that. And we are humans. We want the best for everybody, and just focus on that. I also think that we have to focus in doing meaningful things for others, for ourselves, and it's time to be like, okay, what am I doing that it creates a good impact for others? And if I'm not doing enough, then what else can I do to create this change?
Yes.
And for yourself, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but and for yourself, I like how she included that. Do meaningful things for others and for yourself. So that's really good. Sorry, Brenda, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, so I think it's important as we go into next year is to really remember what we've gone through and how far we've come.
Right.
So I think that's important to really realize, okay, I had this hard circumstances and it was a hard time, a difficult season in life, and even in the work that we do and did before and continue to do. And perhaps there's going to be difficult times going forward. But remembering that what we went through the past makes us stronger now, and it gives us more resilience to continue to do the work we're doing here as an organization.
Absolutely.
So I think that's very important, and being grateful for today, being grateful that I can continue to do the work, maybe with more strength, with more ambition, with more passion that I'm doing it. So
I think I had this conversation with someone a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about how we kind of oversimplify experiences that we've had, right? And we'll say that in the past, like, oh, we got through that, we did that, right? And you just kind of make it seem like, oh, you just got through it. But we forget the work, the hard work that went into it, how we had to be dedicated and focused and disciplined and all of the emotions that we went through to get through it. So I think it's keeping that in mind too, like the expectation being realistic of it may be a little bit difficult to get through it, but we can, because we've done it before, right? We can do difficult things.
Becoming stronger as an organization, as a community, helping each other, like like Brenda, you know, she sees that I am super busy right now at work, and she comes with me with fresh ideas, or it's just that change makes my day easier. And you know, it's like, okay, I have support, I'm not all alone, because sometimes we think we have to tackle everything by ourselves, but we forget that we have co-workers and organization that is behind us that can also support us. So you know, also asking for help and I don't know, venting with somebody or just talking to somebody about what's going on. Also, you know, maybe they can give you their own point of view because they have more experience on the situation, and you may be new to it. And so, you know, reaching out to others to see how you can become stronger, or, you know, I don't know, different topics or
Yes. No. And I think something that it's really important, it's, you mentioned it, surrounding yourself with positive people and people that are aligned with your values too, and aligned with your perspective. Because when you're down, those people that are positive are going to bring you up. And when they're down at a time in life, you're going to be the person to bring them up. So I think surrounding yourself with the positive people, I think plays a huge factor when it comes for you to stay positive and I guess being hopeful for what's upcoming in the future. Yes.
And I just want to, you know, mention a couple of things that I remember that can help you stay positive and be grateful.
Good. Okay.
Maybe creating a collage with, you know, beautiful memories, like printing pictures of a super nice vacation that you had, or family moments, family gatherings that you had, or moments of that you reach out something that was impossible, you know, I don't know, a mountain or maybe a graduation, you know what you reach out that it was impossible. Something that can remind you of that is always nice to see. So if you can just, you know, make maybe a wall with all your memories, or something in your desk or in your bedroom that reminds you, okay, I'm grateful for this. I know we live in a life, a present that we have our phones with us all the time, and we forget to print those pictures. And we need that, you know, in the house. We need to have them near us so we can remind us
Those
that we are
memories.
Grateful for a lot of things. Even our phones, you know, our cars, the clothes that we wear, the shoes that we walk on. There's a lot of things to be grateful.
And on that point, I think that since we're surrounded by technology, and technology is life, we can't do life without it.
Absolutely.
I think just being grateful in the sense that we can write a letter. We have hands, we can write a letter to somebody during this season and send it to them, right? Just going back to the old ways, or a nice postcard, and thanking one person a day. Today I'm going to thank one person a day. So
it's a good one. That's a good tip.
Absolutely. And imagine you're receiving a letter that someone wrote with their hand.
A handwritten letter,
How much powerful.
You feel so special.
Especially those friends or family members that you haven't reached out to, you know, in a long time, that you only see on Facebook whenever they post something. I think that's a wonderful way to be like, that creates an impact, you know, on both ends.
Or even calling a friend this season saying, instead of texting, how are you? And them not asking, well, why are you calling me? What do you need? Hey, I'm just calling you to see how you're doing.
And I think that's something that Brenda said too. It's personally I have fall back to just like texting. That even when they call me, I'm like, this is going straight to voicemail, right? But like now taking the time to actually pick up the phone and ask, hey, how are you? How's everything? You know, happy Thanksgiving, happy Merry Christmas.
Thank you for being in my life. You know, thank you for that thing that you did long time ago.
Absolutely.
Or, you know, I was thinking of you, and I just want to say thank you because you're my friend, or because you're my family member.
Oh, it's a good challenge for this. Everyone listening, find one person to thank them for something. That would be cool. Reach out and thank them. That'd be really cool.
Call them or send them a letter. I think that's
you know, even I remember a long time ago, it used to be a thing to send Christmas cards, you know? And now, I mean, I received a couple of them last year, and I was like, oh my gosh, you know, these friends, I kind of forgot about them. Of course, they're back in your mind or your heart, but then receiving something for them is just like, it draws a smile on your face for like forever.
Absolutely.
And also, I think it's important for those that practice gratitude already and that realize and notice the changes, to pass it on, to talk to your friends, your colleagues, or those people that are feeling down, especially in the holidays, that some people, don't feel like very thankful for, they focus in what they don't have. Pass it on and let them know it's okay to feel like that, but let's focus on everything that you have done. Absolutely. Like Brenda said, everything that you have accomplished, and just to realize that there's a lot more to be thankful and to focus on what you have.
Absolutely. I think you don't realize how successful or how much you have accomplished if you don't look back on the path that you have walked. Until you're like, oh, shoot, like, I accomplished all of this. Yeah. That's when you realize, man, I have moved on, I have improved, I have become a better person. So take the time to look back and see how much you have done, so you can realize how much you have accomplished in life.
And it's really important during the season, during the holidays, there's high suicide rate. So just remembering people, our friends, our family, and reaching out to them, I think is very important during the season.
Yes.
And letting them know how much you value them, how much they're valued, how much they're worth, and just affirming them, I think, is important during the season.
It makes a difference for sure.
You.
Yes. So I want to say thank you both.
Wait, hold on, Monica.
I just want to close it with
Christian. We're chatting, Christian.
Gratitude is a beautiful habit,
Yes.
and we need to cultivate it. We have to take that time to pause and recognize what we have. It doesn't have to be a special moment or wait for the next year for the holidays. Do it every day. It would change you. It would change the person that is receiving your way of saying thank you, whether it's with a present, with a letter, with a service, with cookies.
Yes.
Just implement it in your life. Make it part of your daily routines. I think like brushing your teeth, combing your hair, looking at your phone. Just make it into your routine to say thank you, to be more grateful for what you have.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is going to end now, but I think one of the things that to express gratitude and love is affection. So I say that maybe we can give each other a little group hug here.
Thank you so much for inviting us.
I know. Yes.
Yes.
So I just want to recap some of the stuff we talked about for practicing gratitude. The things that you mentioned is just making it a daily practice. Be intentional. Set reminders. Go into nature. You said. Also, don't be scared to rely on others. Rely on the people on your community, the people around you. Photo collages to remind you of really good memories, the family, the friends, the people in your life that you're grateful for, and pass it on. You said so. Kind of inspire that in other people. You also mentioned apps. I don't know if you have things that you want to mention, tools that people can use.
Yes, but there's a lot of books like Brenda mentioned. There's a lot of them. I cannot say these ones are the 10 top because it depends on your taste. But just research. You're not alone. If you want to learn more about this topic, Google it. Go to the library and get some books. Download some applications. What else? Just pass it on, talk to your friends and just take advantage of these holidays of the Thanksgiving Day, of course, and talk to your family, get to know them and ask them, what are you grateful for? I don't know if it's a routine that everybody does or a practice before you eat dinner. You say thank you for the food, but also, ask questions to your friends, to your family, like, what are we really grateful for?
Ooh, pop quiz for everyone.
Yes, exactly. Name 3 people that you're grateful for. Name 3 things in your life, that you're grateful for. Or let's think about those small things in life that we don't recognize. Just take a couple minutes and think about it.
Absolutely. And like you said, being thankful and positive is not a holiday. It's an everyday thing, right? Exactly. It shouldn't be just celebrated on Thanksgiving or Christmas or your birthday. It needs to be celebrated every single day. So any other comments you guys have? Any other tips you guys want to add?
Yeah, I just remembered, you're saying every day being thankful is so important. So there's a question that people ask, is your glass half full or half empty.
Amen.
And it's either you're going one way or the other, but why don't you answer my cup is overflowing? Right?
Man. Facts
Exactly.
and words.
And just to finish, being thankful, it makes what you have enough.
Yeah.
You know, instead of wondering what am I missing, what I have is enough. I have friends, I have family, I have a house, I have a place, I have a job, I have hands, I have eyes, I have health, I have freedom.
Right. Absolutely.
All those things that you have to really focus on that sometimes you don't see. But
Yes.
We love that.
Want to take the time to say thank you to our guests, Monica and Brenda and Sandra, for being with us at the podcast. Thank you for those who are listening. Don't forget the challenge. Call one people at least, or send them a message, or write them a letter. Just say thank you. And I think that should be all. All right. Thank you,
Happy
guys.
thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Happy holidays.
Murió Ana y José Luis, buscando la carretera murió Carla y Ramón. Adentro de una hielera murió Pablo y Andrés. Cerca de la frontera y cada vez me muero yo, viviendo con la tragedia